Hi, I'm Donna Judd, and welcome to this week's Donna and Friends show. We've got a full-packed episode this week, so you won't want to miss any of our segments. Up first, Chris Pixler gives us a tour in part 2 of Cushing Safety Center.
If we kind of loop around, we go into their bunker gear storage room, which was another issue we had at the old facility. The bunker gear was kept right in the public walkway.
This was a big issue.
It was a big issue.
Yes.
We were worried about the public being exposed to carcinogens that are on that gear, as well as that gear was exposed to UV light. UV light breaks down bunker gear and really lessens the lifespan of the gear. So here we have it away from the public and in an area that doesn't have UV light. It's also designed as a NFPA compliant area where the guys come back. If their gear's not dirty, they take it into bunker gear supply, they hang it back in the rack. If it is dirty, they move right into the next room, which allows them to put that gear in the extractor dryer and get all the soot and particles off of it, carcinogens off of it. They can move straight from the bunker gear cleaning room into a gross decontamination area, get their hands, face, all that cleaned up, and that'll lead them straight into the shower facility.
And I think it's important to point out that equipment within that area, some of that came from the prior location.
Washer and extractor and dryer, let's say it that way. The extractor and dryer was moved from the old fire facility, and when it was put in over there, it was actually purchased on an Assistance to Firefighters grant that was written by one of our firefighters, Joe Hale. And that came from a federal government grant. It's a 95.5% match. So that's about $25,000 worth of equipment, and we paid 5%.
Amazing.
It's we probably wouldn't have it if we couldn't find the grant. So
and a lot of things throughout here have been done through grants.
Yes, we have trucks, we have the extractor dryer, and then here in a minute when we talk about the physical fitness room, all of that equipment was on an Assistance to Firefighter grant also.
And I think that's so important to point out, because if you look at things from a glance here at the new center, you're thinking, well, that is expensive, or that looks expensive, and a lot of this was either A, in the prior location, or B, purchased through grants, or both.
We tried to keep as much from the old building as was still useful. If you go through the office, you'll see that the majority of the file cabinets, office chairs, all those came from the old facility. We did purchase new desks. Most of the desks in the old facility, like Carol's, was a built-in unit.
Right.
It wasn't moving.
Right, I remember that.
And I was laughing about the deputy chief's desk. We actually had one leg held up with a phone book. So, I mean, some of that stuff, it needed replaced.
Right.
But, we tried to move as much stuff over as we can. And then, like we said earlier, we strive to get as much as we can off of grants or through donated funds.
And I think that's so important. Now I'm looking at where we were. We just talked about.
We just came through here.
Yes.
We're standing outside the shower facilities, bathroom shower facilities. The men's bathroom shower is almost identical to the old facility. It's just a little larger. Same amount of toilets and urinals and showers. It's just they have a little more space in this one. The one thing we did gain, though, was a women's shower facility.
Exciting.
It is very exciting because in the old facility, we did not have the facilities to have a female firefighter. We could have made it work, but it would have been very tough to make it work. In this facility, we don't have to worry about that. We have facilities for a female firefighter. That'll lead us around the corner into the men's bedroom, or dorm room, whatever you want to refer to it as. It was designed to sleep 10 people, so a little more expansion. There's 7 guys on shift right now. All in all, we can sleep 11 here with the captain's quarters and the dorm room. Three guys share one bed. Each guy has an individual locker in their sleeping area. And if we work our way on around the corner, we do have a shift captain's quarters. And part of the big reason for that, you want to give him a little perk for being he's the man in charge. He's got a few kids that he's taking care of, and I say that with humor. He's got guys, but in the old facility he had no place to do employee evaluations or counsel an employee, and in this facility he has that.
And here again, beds were moved from the old
Beds were moved.
Location.
We built the beds that are in this building 12, 13 years ago. We moved them from the old facility to the new facility.
All right, take us on through.
Okay, well, we'll come back out the other way, and we can go in the physical fitness room. That's a shared facility with the police department. Everything in that room was purchased with an assistance to firefighter grant, and so we got that at no cost to the city. That leads you back out on the apparatus bay floor. As you noticed, you'd been in the old facility quite a bit, and
Many times.
we can actually get around the trucks without turning sideways.
Well, I
and,
tell you what, I felt like I could just run around everything and go crazy. Of course, that probably wouldn't have been kosher.
No, we don't allow running. We don't.
Oh, no running
No
allowed.
running.
Oh, okay.
No. But you also noticed that we backing in the station. We didn't have to worry about hitting a beam in the ceiling. We have enough ceiling
That
height.
was always amazing to me to watch in the old location when you all would be bringing the equipment back in, and I would think, that is such a tight clearance. It really made me
One
nervous.
truck we had about a half inch to spare before we
my
hit a beam. So. You notice though in that bay floor, our new rescue truck is inside now. We're pretty happy about that. It's not sitting out in the parking lot anymore. You work your way down the end of those bays though, and you run into a tool room. We build our grass trucks ourselves. We try to repair everything we can ourselves instead of not tie up the service center when we can. And then we also have a room for our SCBA fill station. In the old facility, that actually sat out in a little metal building behind the fire department, so we have that inside with us now. And then if we leave those bays and go across the parking lot to what we call the overflow building, we'll walk past the generator. That generator powers the entire facility. So,
And that's amazing.
yeah, no matter what, we're going to be up and running.
Excellent.
And we get into the overflow building, and out there you'll find the rest of the equipment that would usually sit outside or was housed in the Gately building downtown.
This, to me, is got to be the most exciting thing, convenience-wise and size-wise, and preventing all that weathering going on for some of these units in here.
It was interesting to me during the open house talking to some of the past fire chiefs, and this is the first time they can ever remember the fire department's equipment all being in one location and all being inside. So even back into the 70s, we had equipment in other places or equipment that was sitting outside, and we don't have that anymore. So
Fabulous.
the money we invest in our apparatus and equipment now is being protected and out of the weather. But that's a pretty large facility. It's really, I mean, it's a metal building with a brick veneer. That's all we need. Cut the cost down a little bit compared to this structure, and it houses everything. And we also have a little wash bay area in that building that during the winter we can get in out of the weather, wash the trucks off. The PD can wash their police cars off, and keeps salt off of them.
Right.
We talked a little bit about, during the winter, if we get a lot of snowpack under ambulances, it causes ill effects to the air ride suspension, so we can keep that cleaned off that way.
Well, I think that's really important in preserving the equipment.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yes.
Well, so I tell you, that's exciting to really go in and see. Now, both this Bay Connected and then the one where you're storing has a special exhaust type.
Both
units.
Both bay areas have large exhaust fans, but then they have air scrubbers in them. One of the biggest challenges we had in the old facility, and really any fire department has, is with all this diesel equipment, you have a diesel exhaust issue.
Right.
We talked about the airlocks, keeping the diesel exhaust out of the living quarters. But the other thing we want to do is try to keep it out of their lungs as much as we can. So they have air scrubbers in the ceiling that'll filter that air out and get the particulates and the benzene and that sort of thing out of the air.
Well, Chris, is there anything in particular that you want to point out within the new center on your side that it stands out for you in improvement for your shifts?
I think if the citizens could remember back to when we started the process of explaining to them why we need a new facility before the sales tax vote, we addressed them with the issues we had within the fire department. And I think as we walk through this tour just now, if you would go back and look at the PowerPoint we provide them then, and then look at what we've done, we've addressed all of those issues. We've taken care of all of those problems. And now, really, the only problem we have are good problems. It's like I told you, I think I've lost 5 pounds walking around this place. But it's everything's been addressed. The building was designed to be here for 50 years, and we've put just enough, in my opinion, growth potential into it that we won't need to expand.
Excellent.
Even with the apparatus storage, we don't need additional equipment. We'll just, over time, replace what we have. But we don't even have need for more storage there. So we're just very grateful at this point that the citizens let us build this, and that we have what we have. So.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you taking time out, because I know you are still kind of trying to get things situated. I know we saw a few things that you were like, oh, excuse this, excuse that, but we totally understand that. It's a lot to move.
We had a lot to move.
And I'm pretty impressed with your progress on getting it there.
We've been working hard. We're trying to get it all put together, and you know, part of it was to get back where we were functioning 100%. You got to find stuff, and now the rest of it's just getting it organized and cleaned up. But.
Well, this is exciting for the city of Cushing and even the surrounding areas.
It is.
Because so many times you all have gone out and helped our neighbors, we'll say, and equipment has been donated to our neighbors.
Yes.
Because of other equipment coming in. So this is just exciting to finally get to see this come to a reality, and to have a place for equipment is exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
And in some ways, we're very humbled that the citizens have taken care of us like this.
Yes.
So.
Well, we do have to thank the citizens. Without them, none of this would be possible.
That's correct.
Chris, thanks so much
Thank you.
for visiting with me today.
No problem.
Up next, more of Donna and Friends right after this.